Good afternoon. This training camp kicked off the right way. I thought we were very sharp early on. Our kids, we brought in 95 kids for training camp, and the good thing about it is our guys have been rather healthy during the whole ordeal. We have had a couple of bumps in the road, but our guys have done a good job of really getting back on the field and really trying to work to continue to get better. I thought last week's scrimmage, the defense did a really good job of playing fast and playing physical. And normally, when you start out training camp, your defense is going to always be ahead of your offense. And then this week, I thought that our offense kind of caught up to speed a little bit and really did a good job timing-wise of getting back on the right page and doing things successfully. But I think the mark of a good team is any time one side of the ball takes advantage of the other responds. I think that's the mark of a good football team. So I think we have a really good chance to be very successful. I think our coaches have done a great job at really preparing our guys and also getting them to understand the importance of knowing the football game and understanding down and distance and situations and how to attack those different situations. So we're rather pleased with those guys as of right now. At this particular time, we will now maybe take a couple days to kind of evaluate the film. But then also kind of heal up a little bit from the bumps and bruises of training camp and really get back at it next week to start focusing on the University of California at Berkeley. So it's going to be a very exciting year. As you saw today, there were a lot of fans out. Our guys had the opportunity to go and mingle with those fans, and we understand how important it is to have quality fans here at Grambling State University. So it was a great day, and we look forward for many more. Any questions for me right now?
Coach, I know we talked about with the Cal opener, you're preparing for their speed and that it'll be a good test for you guys, especially with your upcoming schedule. What else is it about that team that you guys are preparing for? Obviously a big challenge to open the season.
Well, the thing is, anytime you play FBS opponents, the thing that's glaring is always the speed and then also the special teams aspect of the game. And that's what we have to make sure that we're sure. We've got to be very crisp and sharp in the kicking game and not make mistakes, be able to tackle well in open space in the kicking game, as well as do the same things offensively and defensively. So for us, it's about being mistake-free and playing mistake-free because we feel if we do that, you never know at the end, you'll have a chance to win. So it's not about our opponents. It's never been about our opponents. It's always about us, how we play and how hard we play, and that's always been our focus.
Grambling has historically played in a lot of big venues. Do you think that plays in your favor? You guys maybe won't walk in as wide-eyed as someone else in a similar situation going to an FBS school for an opener.
Well, I don't think that would be that big of a deal for us. Like you just said, we play in front of huge crowds all the time. So our guys understand that. And then we have a junior-senior ball club. So they've been in those different types of venues and those type of environments. So they're just looking forward to really getting at it and playing and really hitting someone else as opposed to hitting each other. I think we're at that point right now where guys are a little bit frustrated with the heat and beating on each other, every day. So it's time to hit someone else.
I asked you earlier about the fan attendance, but when you're out and about, what's the sense that you get from people you run into, Grambling supporters and everything, just about this year, the excitement of it?
Well, expectations are high. And, that's nothing new to the people here at Grambling State University. Expectations have always been high around here. For us, it's about winning a championship, and that's always been the goal, and that has not changed. So we're pleased with the expectations, but we also understand that no one can put any more higher expectations on us than what we placed on ourselves. We feel that we have to get it done, and we believe that we have the tools to do that. Now, we have to go forth and do it on the field.
Discussed the running game before. What's been different about Kelly as opposed to last year when you first saw him?
Well, I think what's good for Justin is he's in shape now. He's lost about 15 to 20 pounds, and he's more explosive. He's faster. He understands the importance of running behind his pads. And really the landmarks on most of our running plays. I think from time to time last year, I don't think he really understood where we were trying to hit different runs. So I think he's done a better job at understanding the run plays and where the double teams are coming from. And and also what holes to hit and where to have his pads. So for him, you know, he needs to go north and south. That's what makes him successful, not going east and west. So we're rather pleased with him.
Correct me if I'm wrong, I remember on signing day you said secondary was an area that you wanted to shore up coming into this season. To this point, do you think that that group has showed improvement?
Well, I thought they've made considerable improvements. I think we've done a really good job at eliminating the big play. Of course, we made some big plays today offensively, but I think that when you look at the course of training camp and how we've played throughout training camp, they've done a good job at keeping the ball in front of them, making sure that we sure tackles and tackle the right way, and make sure that, you know, our zone drops are right, and then when we're playing man the right way. So I'm very pleased with our production defensively thus far.
Physicality with the offensive line was an issue that you wanted to improve on. Where does that stand?
Well, I think we're a lot better than we have been in the past. Of course, we're not where we want to be just yet. It's going to take some work to get there, but I think we're making strides in the right direction. You know, for us, it's about moving people off the ball in order to run the football, because we have to be able to take some pressure off our quarterback. If you look at our offense last year, majority of the plays he was directly involved in. Even though he does take the snap from time to time, you got to be able to hand the football off and run the football, you know, with your offensive line. So we made an effort to make sure that we got some guys that can do that, and I think they showed a little bit, you know, in the last couple of days they've been able to do that.
What have your impressions been on Terry Boyd running? I know he's had some early runs with the first team.
Who down?
Boyd.
Boyd's doing well. Boyd's doing well. He had a little bit of a knee injury in the spring, which kind of set him back a little bit. But he's recovering rather well. He's practicing well. And he's been going with the ones and also with some with the twos also as well. So he's done a really good job at blocking and also snapping the ball.
What more do you need to see at the left guard spot? I know last week we talked about, you know, the true freshman was playing some in there, and I noticed that he was there as well. So what needs to happen at that position?
Well, I think just continue to snap the ball and get quality reps. Like we tell him, he's not a freshman anymore, and he's going to definitely, you know, be dropped in the grease in front of, you know, 60,000 against University of Cal Berkeley. So I think he's not the type of young man that gets wide-eyed. He relishes in the opportunity to really get out there and perform, and I don't think the stage is too big for him. So he's a very, very big guy, very aggressive young man, and very athletic because he's a former basketball player too. So he's not, you know, swayed by any of the things that he'll face. So we're looking forward to it.
What's your take on the linebackers? I know you lost a ton of production there last year with some of your departing seniors.
Well, I thought we did, but I think that we have some guys that have a chance to be very, very good. I feel very good about Arquez Cooper, who's a very athletic, physical, even a bigger guy that actually is playing rather well right now. You know, and even though Henry Taylor has been out with a shoulder injury, he's another young man that is very disciplined and understands the importance of playing a position the right way. The good thing about those two guys is they've played a lot of football, you know, so even though they weren't necessarily starters last year, they've been out there and they've played and they've been productive for us. So even though we lost, you know, a couple guys, you know, I think that those guys they've been in there and they understand, you know, what we do.
We've talked about Cam White transfer, Stallworth transfer. You mentioned Stallworth today. You're pleased. What about Bonner? What have you seen from him so far?
Bonner has done a really good job of playing for us. Taking a year off from playing football kind of does something to you, and I think he's just now in training camp really getting his legs back under him. He lost a lot of weight when he was out, you know, after that year, and I think now he's starting to really get back to the type of player that he's capable of being. So he's shown flashes of being really good, and he wants to be good. And then, of course, you know, when you come from Tennessee, the stage is not too big for you. So we've been very, very pleased with him. I think he gives us a lot of depth that we need in the secondary, and I think that was part of our issue last year. You know, we didn't have much depth in the secondary, and when you go through the year, you know, and you're not playing very many guys, it kind of slows you down a little bit towards the end of the year. So, you know, having quality depth helps you to really be sharp and really be aggressive and really be fast, later on in the year. So that's the reason why we plan on playing more than, just 22 players. I believe you have to play 44 so you're able to, spell some guys from time to time, and then also it helps you practice better also.
There's always grades put on things here today. Grade your offense, grade your defense, and then grade the overall performance of the team.
I give our offense a B- today. I thought we started off real fast. We slung it around pretty good. We ran the ball pretty well. But I thought towards the end, that fatigue kind of set in, and I think we kind of tapered off and didn't attack like we normally do. And I think that's just a matter of playing through the fatigue and understanding that we got to continue to pump, as we go. I thought defensively we didn't have a good day. I thought we were maybe about a C- around in there. But last week I would have told you differently, But I think that's, when you've been on good teams, I think that's the mark of a team that has a chance, to be successful. When one side really gets the best of the other side should respond. And I think you'll hear a response from our defense this week in practice. So I think that seesaw effect is what you look for as a head coach, because coming out of a scrimmage and coming out of any type of full contact drills, the head coach is never going to be completely happy or completely satisfied, because you're responsible for both sides. So I'm pleased with the seesaw effect. I think anytime one side is getting the best of the other and there's no seesaw effect, then, that's when you need to kind of pinpoint some things and try to, shore up some things. But I've been very pleased with it, because there's been times where offensively we've gotten after our defense, and then there's been times defensively where, we've gotten after our offense. And I think we have to continue to compete, in order to be prepared on the 5th of September.
If the overall offense was a B-, what would you grade the first team offense?
Good question. I think it's a little bit higher. I think it's probably, I'm kind of a hard grade. I would say a B+ to maybe closer to being an A, but I would give them a B+. I thought we moved down the field and did a good job, and Jonathan did a good job of getting us in the right situation and getting the ball in and out of his hand. And he ran the ball well, threw the ball well, and then we ran the ball with the tailback well also too, and the line did a good job blocking. So we were pretty sharp today offensively.
How do you feel about the depth behind Kelly? You had a kind of a embarrassment of riches with 4 or 5 guys you could throw in there last year, not so much this year.
Right. Well, I think we still have that. I think when you mix in a little bit of Martez Carter with Justin Kelly and with Dre Fusilier and Brendan Terrence and those guys, I think they're different type of backs, but I think it's good to have those different types. We plan to play 2 guys consistently, and then if things are going well, within that ball game, we'll play a 3rd guy. But I think you have to play, at least 2 guys, because the wear and tear on the body, it's kind of tough. Everybody's taking shots at those running backs. So we want to make sure that, we keep guys healthy, make sure that they get in there and they can get into a groove and really get into a rhythm within the ball game, but then also to spell them from time to time and have a change of pace guy that can give us kind of a quicker guy out the backfield.
Who's that second guy now?
Right now, we don't know. We don't know just yet. Martez has had a really good scrimmage and a really good week. He's popped a lot of runs for us, and he gives us that big play threat. And then Justin Kelly is more of the complete guy, the power guy that can kind of do a little bit of both. So I really can't say right now, but those 2 really do stick out.